Good morning. One body is discovered more than 6 months after the sinking of the Seoul ferry. Search and rescue teams are in the process of recovering the body. At least 18 miners are trapped 300 meters underground due to an accident at a coal mine in southern Turkey. The pit flooded with water with the miners underground. And enjoy the simple pleasures of life in Goryeong in the Gyeongsangbuk-do province. Soak in some history of the Daegaya Kingdom while you're at it on Agri-Travels. The evolution of the old. Newly added functions make existing products even better on Korea Today, Wednesday, October 29th, 2014.
From Arirang News, this is Korea Today.
And a good Wednesday morning. Thank you for joining us on Korea Today. I'm Kim Young alongside Kim Min-jung and Jin-ju.
Good morning, everyone. While the world is scrambling to contain the spread of Ebola, Korea is in the process of putting together a medical team to be dispatched to West Africa. And apparently the competition among medical professionals to be a member of this team is quite fierce.
The health ministry started receiving applications last Friday, and over the past 3 weekdays, excluding the weekends, some 40 medical personnel have applied for these positions. And considering that the applications will be received until November 7th, the competition will be fiercer.
There were initial concerns that there might not be enough applicants, but
now that
the compassion, and professionalism shown by these medical professionals is quite commendable and
it seems
admirable.
that definitely when the times do get tough, the tough do get going and do offer their volunteer services.
That's right. All right, we'll leave that there and get a check on our headlines this Wednesday morning. More than 6 months after the Seoul ferry sank off the southwestern coast of Korea, one more body has been discovered inside the wreckage. According to the search and rescue team, the body was discovered near the fourth-deck female bathroom of the sunken ship. And based on that, authorities are presuming the body to be that of a woman. Divers will try to recover the body early this morning. The discovery raises the death toll from the maritime disaster to 295, while lowering the number of those still missing to 9. The latest developments came amid discussions on whether to salvage the wreckage, but families of those missing had requested that authorities continue their underwater search operations in fear of losing the bodies.
North Korea's leader Kim Jong-un is on the road to recovery following surgery to remove a cyst from his left ankle, according to South Korea's National Intelligence Service. Citing the NIS, Lee Cheol-woo of the ruling Saenuri Party and Shin Kyung-min of the main opposition New Politics Alliance for Democracy revealed Kim received the surgery for tarsal tunnel syndrome by a foreign doctor invited to the country, but there is still a chance that the condition may relapse due to his obesity and frequent tours. Kim stepped back into the public eye mid-October, ending a 6-week absence, which raised speculations ranging from a critical illness to a possible fall from power. The NIS also believes North Korea has executed about 50 people this year for various crimes and purged some 10 party officials for watching South Korean TV shows, which are banned in the North, a sign that Kim is continuing to consolidate his grip on power.
President Park Geun-hye and former First Lady Lee Hee-ho, who is the widow of former President Kim Dae-jung, met on Tuesday at the presidential office of Cheongwadae. During the meeting, President Park thanked the 93-year-old Lee for sending condolences for the memorial service for her late father, former President Park Chung-hee, while Lee expressed hope that she will be allowed to visit North Korea.
겨울 같은데 추울 때 모자와 목도리 협에서 사용할 수 있는 것을 짰거든요. 그래서 북한을 한번 갔다 왔으면 좋겠는데 대통령께서 허락을 해주시면 좋겠어요.
언제 한번 여사님도 편하실 때 기회를 한번 보도록 하겠습니다.
President Park added that such love and compassion is what is needed on the Korean peninsula. The two women discussed unification for the two Koreas, with the president explaining her government's health care plans for North Korea, where infant mortality is high. I's late husband Kim Dae-jung had received the Nobel Peace Prize for his North Korea policy known as the Sunshine Policy, which encouraged more inter-Korean interaction.
Good morning. It's time to run through the front pages of your newspapers. Now, on most of our papers this morning is an image of President Park Geun-hye and former First Lady Lee Hee-ho of them conversing at the presidential office of Cheongwade yesterday afternoon. You just heard about this in the program's headlines. We'll begin with 중앙일보, and this is that image of the two ladies, President Park Geun-hye on the left here, and with former First Lady Lee Hee-ho, the widow of late President Kim Dae-jung, on the right. You did hear about the contents of the story just now. So let me go to this headline right underneath the image. A separate story on the president's words coming from yesterday's cabinet meeting regarding the public sector pension reform bill. Now, she said deficit will snowball to $462 billion if pension reform is delayed. And taking a look at the sub-headlines, the president urged government officials to do their best to finalize the reform of the pension system for civil servants by this year's end, officially setting a deadline for resolving the politically fraught issue. Now, she stated that if the reform is pushed back again, the deficit facing the nation will mount to as much as $462 billion, stressing that it represents more than $9,000 of debt for every individual Korean. And now moving on to another headline here on 조선일보, and this one's on North Korea's latest actions of cyber terrorism. And the title reads, North Korea hacks into 20,000 smartphones in South Korea. And looking at this sub-headline right here, according to the National Intelligence Service, North Korea recently tried hacking into local smartphones, and some 20,000 smartphones were thus infected by a virus in the form of an application. Now, from May 19th to September 16th, a group of North Korean hackers put up a malicious application disguised as a game on a South Korean website through which the virus spread to smartphones. The relevant company and the Ministry of Science, ICT, and Future Planning took the necessary follow-up measures to clean out the virus, such as through an updated vaccine, deletion of the virus, and blockage of the virus route. Now, this was the first time, in fact, that smartphones here in South Korea were directly affected by North Korean acts of cyber hacking. Now on to our business papers. First on the Korea Economic Daily, to a corner story. And this one's regarding the Saudi Arabian labor minister. And this is titled, it's what the Saudi Arabian labor minister has said, Korea's vocational education is good for reference. So yesterday, which was just 1 week ahead of the global HR forum that is to kick off here in Korea, Labor Minister Adil Faki spoke with the Daily through a phone interview in which he said Korea's vocational training and hiring policy are a great reference model for Saudi Arabia. Now, he added that he is paying much attention to Korea's policy to increase jobs in order to revive the economy as well as expand welfare in the nation. And finally, on to the Mail Business newspaper, to this headline here at the top on the Saemangum project. Now, this is called Government Seeks to Finance Saemangum Development Project Through Public Shares. And taking a look at this sub-headline, this refers to through means such as mortgage bonds or the issuance of funds. What the government is considering is making the public participate in this project to develop the Saemangum area, which is the longest man-made seawall located in Jeollabuk-do province. Now, under this plan, the government will issue debt, securities, or funds using the pre-arranged land for development as collateral, which will offer returns on investment or hand over land ownership, housing, or commercial buildings to investors by maturity. And that was a look at our local headlines for this Wednesday. Now, following are the stock numbers from Tuesday.
Well, the sudden dip in overnight temperatures have led to a cold for the both of us. A little touch of it there.
Right.
You can actually hear it.
Bit of a sore throat in my case.
So watch out for the cold, right?
Right. Stuffy nose for you. All right. Well, this is when you have to be careful not to catch a cold. So do dress warmly for today. We'll take a closer look at today's weather conditions with Chun Sung-cho, who joins us from outdoors. Good morning to you, Sung-cho.
Good morning.
Good morning, guys. I'm reporting live from the Yeouido Hangang Park. Yesterday morning was freezing cold with temperatures in many areas dipping to negative degrees. Seoul even saw the first frost of the season yesterday. Today won't be as cold, fortunately, but still at a low number at 7 degrees Celsius here in Seoul, so it's quite cold. Do make sure that you bundle up on your way out this morning. Clear conditions are showing up with almost cloudless skies throughout the country, but as a high-pressure system over the East Sea drifts away to the east, clouds will start to increase by the evening. Around the east coast regions of Gangwon-do Province and the mountainous areas of Jeju, dry conditions persist with advisories still in effect, so people should be careful with fire there. The conditions are expected to improve starting this Friday because this weekend's forecast calls for nationwide showers. But after that, another cold spell is expected to chill the entire nation. With that, let's take a close look at today's temperature readings. Radiational cooling is making the temperature gap between the highs and lows widen as much as 15 degrees in the cities of Gwangju and Daejeon. Afternoon temperatures will soar up to around 20 all around the peninsula, with plenty of sunshine warming things up, so make sure you wear layers of clothes to adjust according to the weather. This is all for me with the weather forecast. Back to you, Minjang.
Thank you, Sung-cho. Let's now get you caught up on some of the global stories we're following at this hour. We'll turn to our Eunice Kim standing by at the news center. Good morning to you, Eunice.
Hello, Minja.
Now, we do have some good news on the Ebola front this morning. A second nurse in the U.S. who had fallen ill to Ebola after treating a Liberian patient in Dallas has fully recovered.
Fully recovered and released to go home. Amber Vincent's recovery, of course, follows that of her colleague, Nina Pham, who was cleared last Friday. Vincent read a brief statement at Emory University Hospital in Atlanta, where she had received treatment for nearly 2 weeks. She said she was grateful to be well and thanked God, her family, her doctors, and also asked that the focus be on those fighting the virus in West Africa. With the negative test results of the suspected case of the 5-year-old we told you about yesterday, only one Ebola case now remains in the U.S. Dr. Craig Spencer in New York, who remains in serious but stable condition. U.S. President Barack Obama told reporters at a campaign stop in Wisconsin, saying he spoke to Vincent on the phone, and he also assured that Ebola will be contained and defeated at the source, adding that Americans deployed in Liberia were starting to see some progress. Now, earlier, World Bank President Jim Young Kim said at least 5,000 more health workers were urgently needed on the ground to fight the outbreak former UN chief Kofi Annan described as a poor man's disease yesterday. Australia has meanwhile become the first developed country to close its borders against the worst-hit nations, banning visas for citizens of Liberia, Sierra Leone, and Guinea. Sierra Leone's government condemned the move as discriminatory. Liberia has urged Australia to reconsider. Turning next to the fight against the Islamic State group, as many as 150 Kurdish Peshmerga fighters in Iraq are crossing borders to help save the Syrian city of Kobani. They'll join fellow Kurds struggling to stave off the IS advance for more than a month now, despite U.S.-led coalition airstrikes supporting them from the skies. Half of the Peshmerga fighters are traveling by air and the other half by road, taking with them heavy weaponry. Turkey has also allowed them to cross through its territory to reach the city near its borders.
And there's been another mining accident in Turkey, and rescue workers are struggling as we speak to save some 18 workers trapped inside.
You're right, Minjung. This time it's a mine in southern Turkey. It was flooded with water while the miners were working inside and causing that cave-in. Turkey's emergency management agency said it believes a broken pipe inside the mine caused the flooding as it dispatched 200 workers to supervise rescue efforts. The 18 missing workers are believed to be 300 meters underground, with water levels still rising. The governor of Karaman province added that 20 others were already rescued. The accident comes after the country saw its worst mining disaster back in May, which you'll remember killed 301 workers when a mine caught fire in Soma. With that, we'll wrap your look at the global headlines we're following this morning.
And still to come on Korea Today, learn how to enjoy the simple pleasures of life with a trip to Korea's countryside. We take you for some traditional fun at Gaesil Village and soak in a bit of history about the Daegaya Kingdom. All this on our trip to Goryeong in Gyeongsang-Buk-do Province.
Now, video clips made by foreigners introducing Korea and its culture are widely spread and posted online these days, especially on YouTube and SNS. And in response to their popularity, Arirang TV has been hosting a contest every year on videos and photos about Korea since 2012, and this year was no exception. Our Im Yuni joins us to tell us more about this year's event. Good morning, Yuni.
Good morning, Jinju. So this is the third year to this contest, and new to this year, they added a photo essay portion as well, and that's made specifically for people with limited access to the internet. So as a result, we saw a flood of entries. So take a look at what this year's contestants put together.
Arirang TV have co-hosted.
The Ministry of Foreign Affairs and Arirang TV co-held its third video and photo contest about Korea, providing an opportunity for expatriates to share their impressions of the country. This year, the contest received 786 entries from 94 countries, all under the theme of To Me, Korea Is. The best represented 137 videos were chosen to win, ranging from Gold Award for the winner to Participation Awards.
We held the contest because we thought it would be a great opportunity for foreigners to explore Korean culture and showcase their impressions of Korea to other expatriates. We expect that the contest would support the Foreign Ministry to strengthen its cultural and public diplomacy.
Participants produced either a video or a photo essay of what they experienced here in Korea. Leticia Godenier mentioned her Korean friends, Korean traditions, and culture to describe what Korea means to her.
Actually, I've been twice to Korea before, and I really enjoyed my staying in Korea, so I wanted to share with people what I felt when I was in Korea. In Belgium, I have the feeling that my culture is really young, and I feel that Korean culture is traditional and modern, and it's what I like.
2 videos were selected to be the best ones this year. Shane O ROURKE from Canada was one of the first prize winners. He learned about Korea by listening to K-pop. He even made his debut as a singer through a Korean television singing competition in 2010. In the video, he portrayed his journey to become a K-pop star. It was to convey a message that Korea is a second home country, a place where he can make his dreams come true.
I feel very honored to have been chosen out of so many different videos. The video is about what Korea means to me and my experience, my personal experience as of how I started to learn Korean culture and how I became more adapted to it.
The other first place gold winner is Joshua Carrot, a well-known YouTube star here in Korea for his own YouTube channel, Englishman. The channel introduces a series of hilarious experiences he held in the country. He said he started producing videos about Korea to show his foreign friends and tell them how much he liked his study abroad experience in Korea. He shared with us some of the advantages of visiting the country.
Well, as you can see, there's just a huge variety. Like, in Korea, you really can do anything. You know, the food is amazing, the people are so nice, there's so many fun things to do. And just the culture is so warm, it's welcoming, and so it enables you to do those things.
The contest gives a glimpse of Korea through the eyes of foreigners. It will be held again next year with a new theme to hear more about life in Korea from expatriates.
So I recognize Josh. We had his video clips on viral feed on our Monday segment, and how he took 불닭볶음면, that very spicy noodle, back to UK to make his family and friends try them out.
Right, right. So we actually saw some very talented, his as well, very talented entries this year. I mean, I said earlier we had three years of this contest, but this year in particular we saw some very professional-like work, and so people were very excited about the entries as well. But you know, if you missed this year, you can catch it next year. Next year there'll be a different theme, but you know, the contest will be there, and it is really garnering attention in the worldwide community.
So we'll have more to look forward to next year as well. Well,
some more fun entries.
Right, right. Thank you, Uni.
You're very welcome.
And still to come on Korea Today, products that we see and use in our everyday lives are getting smarter, maybe too smart for their own good. Today in Hot Items, we'll introduce a line of everyday items that have been put together with IT. We'll find out what those products are with our Jessie Day. You wouldn't want to miss it.
Advertisements have transcended from just simple ways to sell to an art form in itself, and more Korean ads have been recognized globally. For example, a Samsung Electronics advertisement won 10 awards at the Clio Awards in New York, with other Korean ads receiving various prizes at the New York festivals in May. And today we have Michael O'Rourke, president of New York Festivals, who sees the potential in the Korean advertising industry to encourage more Korean ads to participate in this festival. And good morning to you. Thank you for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Now, for our viewers, tell us what the festival is all about, and what being recognized at the festival means to the people who make the ads.
New York Festivals has been around since 1957, and we provide a platform for advertising agencies all over the world to submit their entries into our competition for the chance to be recognized as part of the world's best advertising. And the benefit to that really is, one, it's confirmation that you're doing really good work. It's not easy to win at these award shows. It's a small percentage that actually get to take home a trophy. And in addition to that, it's a valuable marketing tool because it's a resource that you can use to attract new clients or to reinforce the relationship that you have with current clients. And ultimately, it's an honor to be recognized by industry experts around the world.
Now, the big thing these days seems to be the online market or the digital market. So are we seeing a new trend in advertising?
Absolutely. I think the digital platforms that exist now provide so many opportunities, along with its challenges. But I think what we're seeing now is campaigns are no longer tailored to just one specific medium. They're now required to touch and to tell a story, what we often call 360, which means that story is going to transcend through all of the different mediums. The power of digital, of course, is the fact that you can harness the consumer and their opinions and thoughts and feedback. So that power is very valuable.
Okay, were there any Korean advertisements that caught your eye this year?
Sure. I think one that really sort of resonated in the jury room was Touch the Music Project. And that was done by Innocean for Hyundai. And that was a very interesting campaign because it was sort of touching upon the social elements that we often deal with, and in this case, the hearing impaired. So what they did is they created car seats that would translate music into vibrations so that the hearing impaired can also drive on long trips and enjoy music. And of course, they involved the social community to support it, and it gained a lot of recognition. And it was something that is important in the world of advertising because it's not always just about selling product. It's about giving back and that sort of corporate and social responsibility. So that was one that won an award in this year's competition. That was very well respected.
There are some changes that have been planned. Of course, the New York Festivals, it's a huge organization, and you're in charge of this thing year-round, 365 days a year, and it's also going through evolutions of its own. Can you tell us about some of the changes that the festival is going through?
Sure. I think it's our responsibility. The advertising industry changes so fast, so from our perspective, we have to mirror that change. So in terms of the competition, we've made many changes. One of the most recent and changes that we're most proud of course, is our new trophy. It's an interesting trophy. It was designed by Sagmeister & Walsh in New York City, representative of a New York City skyline. And of course, one trophy represents one strong piece of work. But as you continue to win at our festival, you ultimately develop your own New York City skyline that you can call your own. And to make things very interesting, we embedded a projector in the bottom of the trophy that when you lift it, it will showcase your work. So it's a combination of history, our organization, and innovation, including some technology into it. So
all right, technology. It's not just an average trophy there.
Correct.
Tech is involved there now. And there are many people out there, both young and old, who are opening their eyes to the advertising industry. Students, for example, that have dreams of coming up with an advertisement and building a firm of their own. What do you have to say to some of the people out there who are getting into advertising, who have those dreams, and who would even like to make an entry to your festival?
Sure. I think that, the benefit to entering into our festival is you're putting your work in front of hundreds of decision makers who are responsible for hiring the next generation. And the jury members who evaluate this work love to see the student work because they're coming with a fresh new perspective. They're bringing new ideas to the table, and they're adopting new levels of technology that perhaps the agencies themselves might not be using. So when we get to the student competition, the jury their eyes light up because they can't wait to see it. So it's a tremendous opportunity. As far as, entering into the business, I would say, to be a sponge and absorb as much as you possibly can and learn as much as you possibly can from your peers as well as professionals. And I think it evolves over time.
All right, Mr. O'Rourke, thank you so much for making time out and talking with us this morning.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Now in Korea, mourning continues for the loss of legendary rock star Shin Hae-chul, who's really made a name for himself, not just in the music industry, but much beyond that.
Right. Celebrities, politicians, and ordinary fans are making their way to a shrine set up at a hospital in southern Seoul to say their last goodbyes to Shin Hae-chul. For more, we have Seo Mi-sorang joining us in the studio. Good morning, Mi-sorang.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. And it's a reminder of the wide influence that Shin Hae-chul's music had. At his wake yesterday, a stream of familiar faces came by to pay their respects. We had singer Psy come by to pay their respects, and singer Baek Ji-young, group Epic High, and singer-actor Lee Seung-gi, to name a few. They all came by. Now online, the condolences kept pouring in as well. One fan's comment, which was liked almost 3,000 times, really summed up how many felt. I am a big fan from Changwon. As someone from the same era as Shin Hae-chul, his music was a big part of my life. I still can't believe it. If you're mourning our King of Darkness, then please listen to 민물장어의 꿈, which means a freshwater eel stream in English. Now, King of Darkness is, of course, Shin Hae-chul's nickname, which he got because of his blunt, to-the-point way of talking and fierce charisma on stage.
Like Mawang in Korean,
exactly.
right? And I believe the song we're listening to now is the song that will be played at his funeral. It's the 민물장어의 꿈.
Right. And he famously said during an interview around 4 years ago that although this song wasn't one of his big hits, this was the song that he wanted played at his funeral. And he even said that he wanted it inscribed on his epitaph. And of course, we send our deepest condolences to his family. Now moving on, one of the dangers of the winter season is increased risk of stroke, which is what happens when blood flow to the brain is interrupted. In Korea, it's one of the leading causes of death, and when temperatures drop, risk for stroke increases because blood vessels constrict and blood pressure rises. So here are some simple tips to keep stroke at bay. Number 1, eat well. Regular hot meals that are low in saturated fats and salt. Number 2, stay warm. Keep room temperature above 18 degrees and move around to keep improved circulation. And number 3, check your blood pressure the next time you're at the doctor's. So those are some tips to keep healthy this winter so that you can enjoy it to the fullest, one of which includes skiing. Now, all the major ski resorts in Gangwon-do province yesterday started spraying artificial snow. So here is Pogwang Phoenix Park, Yeongpyeong Ski Resort, and Vivaldi Park. They all sprayed yesterday.
Can't wait. When will they open for the season?
Well, in around 10 days from now, depending on how the temperatures go. So I'll keep you updated.
In early November?
Early November, first or second week.
I just personally grew up in hot countries. I don't know how to ski, but maybe this will be a good time to
Do you snowshoe?
No, I don't.
No? Okay, you have to try. We'll take you.
Okay, take care of me.
All right. Now, lastly, according to the Wall Street Journal yesterday, luxury brands are losing their luster and going through a slump. So, Gucci, Louis Vuitton, and Prada all posted drastically lower profits in the third quarter, and analysts are saying that it's because people are turning away. They're getting quite tired of these logo-laden bags, and it's the case in Korea as well. People are getting a bit tired of bags that you can spot from a mile away and are instead turning towards bags that maybe from a more obscure brand, but are more unique and show your personality through.
All those logos can be a little tacky at times.
It is. And I have several from my high school days when it wasn't considered cool, but nowadays I'm a bit embarrassed to carry it.
All right, thank you, Sorang.
You're welcome.
And coming up, we'll be traveling to 개실마을 in Goryeong, Gyeongsang-buk-do province, where we can enjoy traditional houses of Korea and many more, so stay tuned.
All right, convergence of the past as well as the present and the combination of that, a place where all that is preserved and more. We're going to find out more about that on our Agri-Travel segment with Keith Kim joining us this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me again. Well, this week I had the wonderful chance to go to Goryeong in Gyeongsang-buk-do province, and that place used to actually be the capital of the Dae-Gaya kingdom about 1500 years ago. And the village that we went to, it's called Gaesil Village. They did an excellent job of preserving all the traditional cultures, the customs, and even the houses as well. So the entire time I was there, felt like I was in a museum. But of course, there's only so many things that I could really say. I think I'd rather show you guys. How about we take a look? Well, here's Goryeong-gun, county of Gyeongsang-buk-do province. And it's a place of history with over 200 ancient tombs, including an enormous one that's 20 meters wide. There's former kings and noblemen, and they're resting in peace over here. As you guys can see, we have these tombs over here, and it's part of the ancient Gaya culture. And this entire place is just filled with tombs, tombs, tombs. And that's really beautiful to see. Our trip begins at Goryeong, where the past is still alive, and Goryeong Gaesil Village. This is where the Sunsan Kim family, they've gathered and lived for the past 360 years.
So this is a whole family, one bloodline.
Well, this is their village, yeah, and it's an aristocratic village. And they have well-tended stone walls, these hanok houses, and they've been able to preserve the traditional houses for hundreds of years. It's beautiful.
That has to be very tough. Not only that expensive to upkeep
beautiful. This
in the traditional way.
A house from 100 years ago, and it's still beautiful. Well, if you're looking at this house right here, it's 300 years old. And what's even more amazing is that there's people actually living in this house today, right now.
Whoa. So cool. This is old school. Wow.
This well, it used to be the town's water supply, but today it's a cool relic of the past. And we also had some special classes at the traditional village. For example, they had an etiquette class from the village teacher, and the class was open to the visitors, and they taught etiquette about what you should know and how you should live. And I never took a class like this, so I was a little bit nervous.
I know a few people who can benefit from that, including me.
Well, I learned how to bow over here. This was a bowing lesson.
이렇게 짚으면서 손을 약간 벌려잡고
There's a lot more rules than actually knew.
왼발을 먼저 땅에 발등이 닿게끔 하고 그다음 오른 발등을 왼발 바닥에 살짝 얹으면서 땅에 닿도록 놓습니다.
Wow, even the footwork.
A lot of footwork.
Oh, you got called on
Yeah,
by the
I should have sat in the front because I had to bow in front of the entire class. It sounds easy, but it's not.
You're doing it. It's the opposite.
You don't have the footwork.
No.
I know, yeah. Well, he corrected me after this.
예, 됐어요.
And the other kids are probably thinking.
됐어. 예, 여러분에게 인사했으니까 박수로 답했어요.
Bowing to a bunch of kids.
It's a bunch of kids.
Etiquette isn't anything grandiose. Rather, it's the respect for one another and rules that are necessary for our lives.
So after the class, I had a chance to enjoy the traditional games that they set up throughout the village, and
The two-hole.
yeah, I also had the chance to go on this raft, and it was a lot of fun. Very simple, very slow-paced. So they had lots of hands-on experiences at the village, and this was yacht making. This was the most popular.
That's yacht?
So right now we're making some yacht, which is traditional Korean snack. It's made out of rice. It's sticky, it's like taffy. It gets stuck in your teeth, and it's fun. And it's fun to make, fun to eat. It's just a fun snack.
If you see right there, that's the main ingredient of yacht, and that's called jocheong in Korean. It's called
huge,
artificial honey. She stuffed it in my mouth. She stuffed it in. But
No, you wouldn't be able to talk for the next 10 minutes.
yeah,
So.
it was stuck in my mouth, and it was really hot too. But making yacht, it's actually pretty easy. You put the syrup on top of rice powder, you have a partner, you stretch it out, and you fold it, and you repeat the process. And,
It's kind of like noodles.
Kind of, sort of.
How
Yeah.
they used to make the noodles a long time ago.
So that big blob of syrup, it turns into this long piece of yacht.
It's definitely a lot more fun than just
Oh, wow.
It must take some time to dry up, right?
Yeah, no, not too long. The great thing about it is you just have to hit it, but you gotta be careful. I just hit my hand right there. And yeah, it breaks off pretty easy when it's brittle, but the texture, it's actually soft and chewy. And a lot of people that eat it, they seem to enjoy it, so. Well, time definitely flies by when you're having a lot of fun, but the villagers definitely have to go back to work. This woman right here, she was heating up her house the traditional way by heating up firewood, and I had the chance to sit inside. It was so warm, very cozy, super nice. Nighttime, this was a really cool scene because what we had over here was an experience where you could write your dreams and your wishes onto this kite, and then you float it up in the air. And most of the people, they wrote nice things about their families and for their loved ones.
It works like a hot air balloon, right?
Exactly.
So
you heat it up.
Get the hot air going inside and it floats up into the sky.
I had a chance to do my own.
Health and happiness.
I think this is gonna come true. Let's put it up there. Let's do it.
Oh, it's gonna be beautiful.
Yeah, it was a really cool sight.
Hopefully my dreams come true. It's coming up, it's going out.
Yeah,
there you go.
It just goes up, and after a while, you see all of them floating up.
That is beautiful.
And it's a cool feeling because it's like your wish going up in the air. It's definitely an unforgettable experience.
I hope all 5 members of my family will live healthy and happy lives.
Yeah, so it's really an awesome sight to see your wish floating up in the air. Here's a place that you have to visit. It's called the Goryeong Daegaya Museum, and this museum, it exhibits the history and the culture of the Goryeong region.
I think there's so much detail over there. It's really cool over here because you don't really get to learn a lot about Kaya very often, but it's another country that was around a couple hundred years ago. Very interesting.
They actually had a lot of experiences for the kids too, and this was one of them where cultural relics were inscribed in stone. You stamp it with ink, you put it onto a piece of paper, and take it home with you.
Nice! I got a souvenir.
So, Goryeong, you could take a trip back into time. You could go back hundreds of years and witness the ancient culture and the lives. Right now, it's a beautiful season. So I really recommend taking a trip out to Goryeong.
Looks like you had a lot of fun, and you brought back some yut for us.
We have some yut right here.
And
you can try some.
Jinju's been fiddling with this thing during the report.
It's getting quite sticky.
Let me help you out with that. You need plenty of flour on your hands just so that it doesn't stick.
It looks like you have some experience with this.
So this is that before it hardens, right?
And then put it back
Yeah, it looks
together.
hard, but it's actually soft.
You have to keep doing
Stretch
that.
it out again.
What is the purpose of this thing? I mean, why do you keep on doing this?
Well, so you can make it a stick like this and then have it stretched out so it hardens. And once it hardens, then you break it. You know, there you go. You failed. That's an epic fail, right? Right. So this is
fun.
This is the yut when it does actually harden, and it is really hard, right? We used to play games like this when you buy it, you break it in half, and then see who has the most number of holes.
That's right.
So the most number wins.
Yeah, and then the loser has to pay for it. So I'll give you this one, the loser's path over here.
Oh, all right.
Okay. So can anyone take part in this yut experience?
Well, this one, making it is actually the most popular experience, and you could do so by signing up at the website. It's called 개실.net, and there, if you go there, you can also find out about the various other experiences that they have. They have seasonal ones where you could harvest sweet potatoes and hot peppers, and even in the winter, you can go ice sledding as well. But out of all the experiences, what I'd like to recommend is staying at a hanok, a traditional Korean home. The reason is because some of these homes are hundreds of years old, and you get that traditional experience, but you don't give up the comforts of modern life because the bathrooms, heating systems,
TV there too.
Yeah, and the cooling systems, they've all been upgraded. And yeah, you get the comforts of modern civilization, but stay in a 100-year-old house.
Oh wow, look at the bathrooms. It's just
that
completely
looks
modern.
It's just a modern bathroom, yeah.
And for city dwellers like us, it'll be a great opportunity to stay in one of those houses, and it will be really memorable. And I heard that there's another village near 개실마을 where we can experience other cultural activities as well.
Yeah, if you're in the area, another village that you could stop by, it's called the Gaesil Village. And there, they actually focus on experiences regarding gayagum, which is the traditional Korean instrument. It's a 12-string Korean zither. And there you could learn about how to play the instrument and learn about the sounds, learn about the history, and you could also learn about making the instrument using natural materials. So it's another thing you might want to check out.
Sounds like a lot of fun. Sounds like you had a blast, and not only that, you get a whole lesson in history and get a taste of what it was like in the old days.
Also, I know how to bow, make yard.
You're more polite now.
Get that footwork. I'm working on the footwork, guys. Still working on it.
Up for a challenge, Young, just before we wrap up?
All right, well, Keith is already paying for this, so we'll just do it.
Ooh, I think I won.
All right, there you have it.
All right, thank you. We'll keep this.
Thank you very much, Keith.
Thank you.
All right, stay with us because up next, SJ has your sports updates from yesterday and much more.
Well, speaking of lasting traditions, we are going to kick things off with the 95th National Sports Festival, which kicked off in Jeju on Tuesday. as the Korean athletes from all over the nation got together for the annual sporting event. And of course, lighting the National Sports Festival flame this year are weightlifter Kim Soo-kyung, who has been competing in the event for 14 years straight and has won the most medals with 39, and Asian Games gold medalist and footballer Im Chang-woo, who scored the winning goal in the final against North Korea. And earning the first notable gold medal on the day was Kim Jae-bum over in the 81-kilogram judo competition, as the event will take place until November 3rd. And now moving over to the LPGA this time, where after regaining her #1 world ranking once again, Park In-bi is set to defend her top ranking later this week against her rival, Stacey Lewis. Now with Park In-bi currently at 11.09 points in the golf ranking compared to Stacey Lewis's 10.86, the two rivals are set to face off for the first time since Park In-bi took back her top ranking at the Fubon LPGA Taiwan Championship this week. But Suzanne Petterson is looking to spoil the matchup as she's set to defend her tournament title for the third straight year. And now shifting over to the KBL this time, where the LG Twins and the Nexen Heroes faced off on Tuesday night in Game 2 of the best-of-7 playoff series, with the Nexen Heroes up 1-0 in the series. And of course, going into the game, here we go over to the second inning of the game. Son Ju-in grounds out to second base, scoring as Lee Byung-gyu from third, and LG takes an early 1-0 lead. Fifth inning of the game, Oh Ji-hwan grounds one to first, but an error here on the catcher scores another as the LG Twins now take a 2-0 lead. But the seventh inning of the game, Nexen's Yoo Han-jun deep to straightaway center, gone, and the deficit is cut to 2-1. But in the eighth inning, the Nexen Heroes bullpen collapses, giving up 6 runs in the inning, including Brad Snyder's 2-run double, as LG evens the series with a 9-2 victory. And now shifting gears to the KBL this time, where the struggling Changwon LG Sakers took on the Incheon Itilan Elephants on Tuesday night. And now in the first half of the game, LG in control of the game, outscoring Incheon 42-28 going into halftime. But the second half, a different story as Chung Young-sam lights it up for Incheon, scoring a game-high 25 points. But the rally is cut short thanks to 3 LG players scoring in double digits as LG holds on to win this game 81-76. And now finishing things off with some results from Tuesday night's V-League action. The Hunguk Life Insurance Pink Spiders continue to cruise through, beating Korea Expressway 3-0, while OK Savings Bank barely hangs on to beat the Korean Air Jumbos 3-2, thanks to Robert Landy Simone's 42 points. And with that said, that's going to wrap it up for me. This has been SJ. Have a great rest of the day, and see you guys again for your sports needs.
The endless line of products that are introduced to us every day, it's endless. But at the same time, there are many people who are getting some of the old and combining new elements from the future or even the present, and coming out with products that combine the best of both worlds. And joining us is Jesse Day to talk more about that. Good morning.
Yes, good morning. Converged items is what we're talking about today on Hot Items. And we're looking at things that's basically existing technology with a little bit of a smarter additional technology added onto it to enhance its function. So the first thing we're looking at is something that almost looks like it's from a science fiction movie, doesn't it?
Okay, so there's an actual term for items like this. There's a category, now they call it convergent products, right?
Yes.
And this is one of them. This looks like something from space or something from...
It's like a pod, right?
It does. it really looks like something from WALL-E. The Disney movie, and it looks like a personal entertainment machine.
And it basically is, though it can be used for work as well, this is the Droyan Workstation. Now, as you can see right here, it basically allows you to sit in the most ergonomically functional position when you're using your computer. You know, a lot of people lean over, they tend to lean over when they're using a computer desk. Yeah, it's bad for your posture.
And your neck.
Yeah, this has an adjustable seat. It can move forward and backward, it can move 140 degrees, and the monitor moves with it. So whether you're consuming entertainment like playing a game, using a word processor as we can see right here, or anything else, it basically allows you to sit back more comfortably and better for your posture as well. And if you're playing a game, I mean, it's almost like you're in a virtual reality world. It really
almost
brings you into it.
Seems like you could concentrate a bit more.
Yeah.
You're focused because you're just surrounded by this whole thing.
Absolutely.
Can I take a seat?
Let's give it a try.
All right, let's test exactly how ergonomic this is. All right. Well, it feels a lot like a car seat getting into it.
Yeah, absolutely. As you can see, this desk right here moves aside very easily. You can sit down.
Okay.
And it can actually have up to 3 monitors. Now yours has 1, mine has 2.
Look at this. We have the little buttons. You could go back.
Exactly,
go forward.
yeah. And you might be feeling a little toasty. That's because there's actually a seat warmer as well as a cooling system. So it keeps you warm in the winter and cool in the summer.
Sounds good.
Fully lie down?
Yeah, let's try that. It's a little uncomfortable. Well, it's a little uncomfortable because I can't reach, my arms are short, so I can't reach the keyboard. But this is how far you can take it back.
Yeah, you could take a nap. I don't think that's what it's made for. But for playing games, as we can see right here, it really brings you into the experience because you have both the monitors here. I'm falling. I've never played this game. I don't know exactly what to do. But you can kind of see it really brings you into the game world itself. So for playing games, it's awesome as well. And this moves very easily, so you can get in and out without any problem whatsoever. So I'll just step out right now.
You know, Jesse, I'm going to tell you honestly, I like this, but I'm afraid of this machine because I will never get out of it.
Well, that's the thing as well, especially if you're into PC gaming.
Yeah.
I mean, I can imagine just sitting there and kind of spending your whole day and time just flying by due to the Droid workstation.
This plus a game that I really like, that equates to a lot of fights with the wife, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right.
Now, another great thing about it too is the stand itself is made of lightweight aluminum, so it doesn't shake and it's very durable and it'll last you a long time as well.
But I don't know, having this thing inside the home, inside my room, I'm not exactly sure where they would have room,
It's not space friendly or anything.
It's not necessarily space friendly, it's more of an immersion experience. It's kind of almost an indulgent item. However, like I mentioned, it's good for not only games, but it's good for your posture. You can use that excuse with the wife. It's good for my posture when I'm using the word processor.
Right. Well, sounds good. If it had like a massaging feature, then that would be another plus.
That would be awesome.
Maybe an idea for the makers of this, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, now let's move on to another item. I don't really see anything special about it just yet.
It looks like it's just a chair, right? So this is the Duo Wave, and the great thing about it is it has Bluetooth-enabled speakers right beside the headrest.
Wow.
Yeah, that's cool,
Speakers
right?
right there.
Yeah, so as I was mentioning before with posture, this is another problem. If you don't have headphones on, you end up leaning forward and affecting your posture when listening to speakers as well. So as you can see here, you enable the Bluetooth function. It works with anything such as your smartphone or any Bluetooth-enabled device. And you're able to listen to the sound naturally as it comes out right by your head, so you'll be in a great position for your posture. The chair itself is made of very great materials, so not only is it sturdy, but it supports your posture and it is comfortable as well.
Okay, the Duo bags have already established a reputation for being very comfortable. It has the 2 padded sides, and then it leaves your back, your spinal area free, and it is really comfortable.
So
but this added feature I have never really thought about, but it makes sense because when you talk about surround sound, the reason surround sound makes everything is so cool is that you do have speakers up there and then you have 2 speakers behind you, which make you feel like you're right in the middle of the movie.
Yeah, absolutely. And you know, a lot of students these days are using online lecture materials or other sort of audio, learning materials. So it's very useful to have that, and it's also great for watching movies and listening to music. So let's give it a shot. Just play the music there.
This actually supports good posture.
So here it's coming from the cell phone. I'll turn on the Bluetooth functionality here. One second. Okay, hold on one moment. It's coming online.
Sometimes takes the Bluetooth a little while, right?
There we go. And then we turn Bluetooth on.
All right.
Is it now coming from the phone or the headphone?
There it is. Now it's finally coming from the headphone. It feels like I'm right there. It's a different sensation hearing the music coming from behind you. And of course, if you are watching lectures or if you're doing something else, anything that relates to sound from your computer, then I think this will be the perfect option for you.
Absolutely, for gaming as well. Yeah, or any sort of media you're consuming.
It could use a little more bass, though.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah, I'm into the bass. I'm a bass man.
I think
not a treble man.
The great thing is you can adjust that on your smartphone or other device, and I'm sure it'll be great.
All right, sounds good. And a couple of subwoofers on the back there might do it too, right?
And maybe we could combine the Duo Wave with the drawing workstation.
You know what? We're giving out too many ideas for these companies over here. You know, I think you guys need to come to us for a little bit of consulting, right? All right, well, you know what? Back to you guys. What do you guys think?
Well, do you think any chance we could replace this chair with that chair? I think that's pretty fun.
I don't think we could do the program with all that music creating a distraction for us.
Or this one, even better, right?
That goes up on the 6th floor, right where you and our guests are.
Deal. Thank you, Jesse. Thank you, Young.
Thank you.
All right, this is where we say goodbye on this Wednesday morning. It's a cold one out there, so do take care.
Right. Have a wonderful Wednesday, and we'll be back at 7 a.m. tomorrow. Thank you for watching.
Bye.